Hi again, welcome back to the Spirit Lounge. I hope you're all really well and having a great day. So today's video, I didn't know really how to make this one. I didn't know what to say and how to make sure that what was said covered a subject that you really can't describe in word. And it's the subject of what is Source. What is God? What is the One? What is the unity of all things? What is it that we are all part of and the fractal of? It's a difficult subject because the word, just the mere concept of its existence, is rejected mentally by many. I use the word source and not the word God for many reasons. God itself is a word that we've used for time immemorial to describe the One, the unity, all that is, the just is, the isness, all that we are, the unity of the One. But the word itself is not the issue, it's the vibration in which it holds these days. God holds the vibration that we've given to it, and we've used that word. No longer for me personally represents the unity of the One. It represents war, division, separation, justification for the ills that we perform to each other in its name. The warped understanding of what religion was always intended to be, and actually it was probably always intended to be what it is today. But the origin of it, the word God now is separation. It's just, we use it and we throw it around to separate each other from each other. My God's better than your God. You don't believe in mine, so therefore you're an infidel, and therefore you must be removed from existence or the physical space. So I use the word source. Why do I use the word source? Well, it's because it's the source of everything. It's the source of everything that we are, all that we have ever been, and all that we can be, and all that will never be. It's all possibility. It's the origin of the One. It's the origin of the unity of all that is. So when I refer to Source, that's my name that I use to describe that oneness. Now, it's difficult to describe the unity of the One because ultimately it's the end journey. And it can only be felt, and you cannot describe it through the mind. It's very difficult to do that. You have to feel it. And Source isn't some anthropomorphic deity in the sky. It isn't human. It isn't a he or a she. It isn't a being waiting at the pearly gates. It isn't an energy that casts judgment to all those that do not provide it sacrifice and worship. It isn't a being or a thing that casts love to all the righteous and pious and virtuous of the world. It doesn't pass itself through any conduit or self-professed channel of the divine on this planet. There is no human being on this planet that is a conduit to the divine greater than yourself. You must move away from these belief systems. It doesn't have a duality of the devil. It doesn't direct what we do. It doesn't direct what we become. It's merely created through thought, transmuting energy into matter, as described and illustrated in the tree inside this video, source is just energy. It's pure thought, pure intention. Thought is a force, therefore it's energy. Intention is a force, therefore it's energy. Energy is the strain that weaves its way through everything that we see and experience, everything that is out there and in here today. And through that it manifests through its intention, animate and inanimate form. All has its own state of consciousness and purpose and intention for being, in everything is a fractal of grace, a fractal of source. It's not embodied in effigies or figures, although we'll do a video on this. I will be publishing a video on effigies, symbols that we direct devotion to, and what they are and how we should regard them, or how you may wish to regard them. Source is also not, as I said before, it doesn't cast judgment. Doesn't have a duality. The dismissal of source is through many different. We've dismissed the mere existence of source and the reasoning behind why the unity of all things, the energy, the expression of what we all are, should even exist. It's dismissed through the mind. It's dismissed through our ego. It's dismissed through our intellectualism. It's dismissed through the source can never be explained through science, but it's increasingly blind through religion. Religion is really just a warped version of what we should have nowadays. It still lost its purpose a long time ago, a long time ago. The truth of what it is within yourself. We've dismissed the notion of the existence of source, and because of that, many people they just don't know what they believe. You don't need to believe anything, actually, because belief is in the mind. It's knowing is in the heart. It's to know and to feel source exists. It's not represented to sacrifice. Source doesn't require sacrifice or devotion, and only accessible through the attendance of a place of worship, or, as I mentioned before, conduit through another person. It's often warped. False gods are created through the occult. I won't be spending much time on this video talking about that, because the occult is for the misled. I will be in another video describing, only in one video will I touch this subject, because it's of no consequence. Just explain what the occult actually is, and how they create their false gods and effigies. But we are a fractal of source. Everything is a fractal of source, from the vastness of the universe itself, the multiverse, the galaxies, planets, stars, to humans, to a blade of grass, is a fractal of source. Everything emanates from it, feeds into every experience that we have, every action, word, thought, and intention is source, because we're all within the one. There is no separateness. There is no disunity. Source is all that we are. Everything that ever has been is all possibility. It's everything that, all the timelines and possibilities of pathways we create in the past and in the now, things we'll experience in the future, things we will never experience and never will come into being, is also source. Source is bliss. It's an embrace that you feel through the stillness and meditation when you go within. And when we ignite that dimly lit flame of the spirit that we've pushed so far down into the recesses of the being, and allow it to become a flame, an inferno, and thereby guiding our future pathways. It's through free will that we can either attach to it or allow ourselves to reconnect to that which we have lost, to become everything that we're supposed to be in body. Now, we expect to lose our attachment with Source, or rather the knowing of it. We're never disconnected from Source. Source is pure infiniteness. We never leave Source. Our connection from our internal selves, our fractal of our spirit within, is always connected to our core. Our core is always with the One. The core of everything that exists is with the One, because it's always within it. We come into life knowing the impositions that will be placed upon us in life. We know that once we enter into this human experience that it surrounds us every day, we know the impositions through the external world that we're in, the human world that we're in, will impose on us, forcing from day one almost our detachment from the spirit. So when we're born when we're a newborn baby, we don't have a detachment. This fall into ignorance, or this forgetting that many just talk about, is actually the gradual process of disconnection that is imposed on us by proxy of dropping into the human experience. As newborns, as the spirit entering the baby in the womb, and entering life, bursting its first cry and breathing its first external breath, it has a connection. The veil between the beauty and grace of home and the duality of our physicality, physical experience, is so incredibly thin, it's not really there. It's developed over time. It's imposed on us by the external influences of dogma, doctrine, agendas, movements, followings, parental dogma, religion, belief systems planted within us, schooling, many things, friends, family. What we experience in the world develops our detachment from grace. Make us think, well, there can't be a source, because why would source, why would it allow such things? And I'll be also touching on that in my next video. It's going to upset a few. The reality that I'll be providing will be upsetting a few people as to why Source doesn't, or God doesn't intervene. But this is why we dismiss it. Our purpose here, as we've discussed, is intention, is purposeful. And the only transcendent journey we have is to reconnect with our spirit. Our spirit is grace. Is to allow it to emit and lay out our path before us in direct life, and have mind its partner and heart its partner. But spirit and the heart combined is love. And we are here to reattach to that and find it again in this experience, because we know we are going to be challenged to reattach to it because of this experience. And that should be how we create our adventure. That is the foundation of our adventure, how we see each other, how we behave. A friend said to me recently about the herd, the human herd. Yes, we're here to be part of this herd, humanity. But we're not meant to be like them. We're not meant to be like the herd. We experience life with the herd, but we're not meant to be like the herd. We're meant to be expanded. So follow our own internal self towards Source. Source is within us all. And to realize what it is, you have to connect to what it is inside. It's bliss. It's peace. It's contentment. It's love. It's harmony. It's unity. It's an embrace that touches you so deeply, so unconditionally. It's ineffable. inexplicable. But it can only be felt. It'll bring a tear to your eye when you truly touch it. It's silent. The movement is silent. It will come to you at any moment. We just have to be brave and we have to be courageous to enter the path to be able to discover it. It's through patience and faith and speaking to what exists beyond the physical eye that surrounds us all, with a knowing that you're being heard, and ask for you to be guided. Ask for it to enter your space. Ask for you to be assisted in reattaching with your inner grace and infinite spirit. And Source will, through that process, be your outcome. I think Buddha said that in his meditative practice of nirvana, going to nirvana, he didn't feel a sense that there was a source, or that the belief of one wasn't necessary. This is true. You don't need to believe that source exists on the outset, but you will feel it as an outcome. It's implicit. It's impossible to avoid. You have to be brave and courageous to open yourself to something that maybe we have all, or some of us may have dismissed over time. I have to admit I never did. I never have. But we need to reattach to it. Source is within. It's everything that exists. It's infinite energy. Allow it to come in by entering the journey, the path within, the path that towards your inner state. It is a hard journey. Everything that exists around us is from Source. This infinite universe, every life within it, every terrestrial and non-terrestrial life form within it, every subatomic particle, animate or inanimate state, or object, or frequency, is within it. It's created through gradualism and catastrophism. It's a bit of both. It's karmic. It's creation, transformation and destruction of free will through a thought and intention from the unity of the One, which we are all in, which we feed. It experiences itself through us. It experiences itself through everything that exists around us. Humanity is just a single expression of it. It's an expression, it's an experience of it. Humanity is an experience of it. Humanity isn't a fractal of grace. It is an experience of grace within the One. Our spirit, the infinite energy that is within everything that exists, animate or inanimate, is a fractal of grace. That's the reality. What is what we experience without, beyond us, outside of us in the heavens, was formed from thought, transmuting energy into matter, into light, into dark matter. And through free will and a free flow of movement, gradualism, catastrophism, karmic forces of creation, transformation and destruction, it will be whatever it will be through free will. The universe has free will just like you and I have free will. Remain the universe. Do not let sovereignty, free will, independent thought be destroyed around you, because the human theatre will drive our external perceptions to do just that. Free will is the major universal law. That's how the karmic forces. It's grace. It's the law of Source itself. We are here to be what we wish to become. This universe is an experiment. The unity of the One created a canvas on which we all have a brush. It's up to us what we become. It's up to us if we connect to it again. It's up to us to emit grace. Grace is peace, love, energy, unity, joy, belonging, contentment, gratitude, forgiveness. Light. Light is information, truth and knowledge. That is the core of what grace is. We need to rediscover that from within us, and through that we will understand that through that journey we will understand Source itself, because that is Source. That is the frequency we have within each other. Connectedness. We are not separate from anything. There is a duality. Negativism exists. The duality exists, but it's only there because we've created it. It's in all possibility, but it's not within the intention of grace. It's not the intention of Source itself. So reconnect to it and become Source. That is the path. That is the transcendental and the only journey that passes on within us. It's that growth. It's that tendency we need to recreate. Create our patterns of behavior from that center of grace that is waiting for us to reattach to itself. To express from within us. Remove doctrines and dogma and ideologies of movements, the intellectual pedestal we place ourselves on, our ego and our mind. Because all of those are blocks. They are barriers and hurdles. We can strengthen them or we can remove them. Remove them. And be brave and courageous to allow yourself to reach something that you may have thought is for the naive and the misled. Ask yourself, what is naive and misled? Is it just going through life following doctrines and dogmas and becoming more lost and questioning your place in the universe and the world? Or is it better to open up to something greater that allows you to understand your place in the world and the duality that we experience whilst we're in the avatar of the human body? Allow Source in, because it's already within you. Allow Source to express itself through the infinite book that will release its secrets. Well, there are no real secrets because you have them inside already. Allow grace to admit, and don't be scared to love. Don't be scared to understand grace. Don't be scared of the word grace. Because grace is Source. It is a mix of all of those things that we've talked about. Love your internal self enough to allow it to come out. You will one day. There is in some incarnation you will allow it to come out, because that is the ultimate end. Release love from within, because that's really what we're here for. To guide ourselves through our hearts. That is the seat alongside the Spirit, where your true timeline and path of experience resides. Be one with the self and allow Source to reconnect to you through your spirit. Love, connect with self, and then once you've done that, you'll love and you'll connect with others. I thank you so much for listening to the video, and I hope I've explained the inexplicable a little bit. The book that I have the image of on this video explains this and touches many subjects like this that I'll be covering in my videos, but not such depth. Even though the book really scratches the surface to make it digestible, to make the concepts that we talk about on these videos digestible. So I hope some of you do take the choice to read that, but at the very least follow the videos, and I'm truly thankful and grateful for those who do share. Please like and subscribe. It does help the channel to grow. It unlocks other options for me to be able to use on the videos themselves as well. And just share. The purpose of this and the book and all that I do is for you to share. It's to for you to help you expand. Those who wish to listen, who are ready to receive, even partially, to help expansion, but also to share to others you feel may find these videos useful. So thank you again, and I appreciate you listening, and have a great day. Thank you.